Okay, let's talk about that secret feeling of dread. You know the one I'm talking about. You look at your calendar, you see guests are coming over, and instead of feeling excited, you just feel this little bit of panic. And look, it's not because you don't love your friends or your family. It's something way deeper. Today, we're going to unpack the science behind that feeling and reframe it, not as some kind of social flaw, but actually as a hidden strength.
You know that feeling, right? Your home is your sanctuary, it's your fortress of solitude, and everything is just how you like it. And then you remember. The doorbell's going to ring, and suddenly this quiet hum of anxiety starts up. It's the feeling of your private peace, your space, being on the very edge of interruption. If you've ever felt this, you're not just being difficult, there's a really fascinating psychological reason for it.
You know, psychologists have a really powerful name for this. They call it unwanted noise. And we're not just talking about loud music here. In this context, noise is, well, it's any disruption to your inner world. It's the pressure to entertain, the break in your personal routines. It's even just the presence of another person's energy in your space. And this isn't just a vague feeling. It has a real, measurable psychological cost.
So where does this stress actually come from? I mean, really, to get it, we first have to understand that our home is so much more than just four walls and a roof over our heads.
I mean, think about it. Your home is where all your unguarded routines live. It's the one place on Earth where you can be your most authentic self with zero performance required. It's basically an external reflection of your internal state. So when guests enter, they aren't just stepping into your living room. In a very real way, they're stepping into your mind. And wow, that can feel incredibly demanding.
And whenever someone enters your headspace, well, it comes at a price. This isn't just some vague feeling of being tired, it's a real drain on your mental resources that we can actually measure. We call it the cognitive cost.
And this chart illustrates that drain perfectly. We all start the day with like a finite battery of mental energy. On a quiet evening, that battery might be at 90%. You're feeling recharged. But hosting, and yeah, even when it's fun, it requires hundreds of tiny micro-decisions. What do we talk about next? Is everyone comfortable? Is it time to offer another drink? Every single one is a small withdrawal from your battery. So protecting your home, then, isn't about being antisocial. It's really about preserving this vital, limited resource.
Okay, so we've pretty clearly identified the problem. But the great news is there's a scientific framework that explains exactly how to manage it. You can think of it as a blueprint for building a more peaceful private life.
And here it is, the crucial theory that ties this all together, privacy regulation theory. Now, I know it sounds super academic, but it's something we all do instinctively every single day. It's that constant, subconscious process of adjusting our boundaries, trying to balance our need for social connection with our need for solitude. The key here is that it's not about shutting people out. It's about consciously managing access to protect your internal resources. So how do we actually put this blueprint into action? It's a pretty simple three-step process. First, you just assess your current cognitive load. You ask yourself, am I running on empty or am I fully charged? Second, you control access. This might mean saying no, or suggesting a shorter visit, or maybe meeting at a cafe instead. And third, you achieve the goal. You successfully preserve your mental energy for what really matters to you.
Now, understanding the how is one thing, but what we're about to talk about next is a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and your need for those boundaries. This is all about adopting what we're going to call the steward identity.
For way too long, we've been operating under this old myth that saying no to a social invitation is selfish or that it's rude. But the new truth is that setting these boundaries is actually a form of responsible stewardship. You are carefully managing your own environment, both internal and external, so you can show up as your best self when it truly counts. It's not selfish at all, it's essential self-preservation.
Let's be crystal clear about this. If you feel the need to protect your space and your energy, you are not antisocial. You're not a bad host or a bad friend. You are the steward of your environment. You are the person in charge of curating a space that allows you to thrive. And that is a position of responsibility and of strength.
So armed with this new identity, how do we actually start building? Let's put it all together and take a look at how you can truly become the architect of your own private peace.
Your new mindset is really built on these four pillars. First, you've got to actively protect your cognitive load like the precious resource it is. Second, you got to fully embrace that powerful identity of an environmental steward. Third, practice setting boundaries clearly and kindly without a single ounce of guilt. And finally, consciously design your home to be the sanctuary you truly need it to be.
And that really brings us to the most important question. Because understanding all these ideas is one thing, but applying them? That's everything. So I'll leave you with this. Looking ahead, what is the first, small, manageable boundary you will architect this week to protect your peace? That's all for this explainer. Thanks for watching.